You have not moved in 11 minutes. Brake lights to the horizon. You could walk the whole delay off if the freeway let you. Now strip it all away. The car, the road, the phone that warned you the traffic was bad. A body walks across open desert at sundown. It drags 50 pounds of meat behind it on a hide. Another one carries a baby on its hip. Home is a full day away. No cart, no wheel, no road. So how did the slowest animal on the plane with no claws and no speed walk to the bottom of every continent and never stop? It was never just walking. Start with the body. You are the best long-distance walker alive, not the fastest. A horse leaves you standing, but you can cover 20 miles, sleep, and do it again tomorrow, and the day after. Nothing else on earth can. Your feet have arches that snap back like springs. A tendon in your heel stores each landing and fires it into the next step. And 2 million sweat glands cool you, while the animal you chase slowly cooks inside its own fur. You do not outrun the deer. You outsweat it. You jog behind it in the heat until it overheats and drops. Then you walk up, the fastest thing on the plane, beaten by the slow thing that would not stop. But walking was never the hard part. Carrying things was. Your body handles maybe 50 pounds before the weight grinds down your knees and spine. And you have food, tools, a child, and a day of open ground ahead. So people cheated. First they dragged. Throw the carcass on a skin, grab a corner, haul it through the dirt. 10 times easier than lifting it. That bundle scraping behind a walking figure is one of the oldest machines we built. No moving parts. Just a bag and a refusal to quit. Then someone found better. 2 long poles tied into a narrow V, a hide slung between them. You drag the point. The load rides the middle. The weight falls on the ground instead of your back, and one person moves 100 pounds. No wheels anywhere. People hauled like this for thousands of years before anyone rolled a single thing. But some cargo you could not drag. Some you had to hold, and the most precious load of all could not move at all. A newborn chimp grabs on within days, gripping its mother's fur while she climbs and runs. It holds itself. A human baby holds nothing. Soft, floppy, useless for years. So somebody carries it every mile. For years, the fix was the sling. A strip of hide over one shoulder, the baby tucked against the hip, both hands free. It sounds like nothing. It changed everything. Now a mother could walk sunrise to sunset and keep her child alive without setting it down. Think about what that does to a migration. You do not move at the speed of your strongest hunter. You move at the speed of the woman carrying the next generation on her hip. I keep coming back to that. We did not cross the world light and free. We crossed it loaded down, one arm always full, leaving no one behind. So why move at all if it was this brutal? Because staying put was worse. Settle in one green valley, and the year the rains fail, you starve with nowhere to run. The survivors always kept a horizon in front of them. Moving was not adventure. It was insurance. And so they walked out of Africa. Not in one march, a few miles a generation. A family pushes past the edge of the known world, has children there, and those children push further still. Do that 1,000 times and you reach Siberia. You cross into Alaska on foot and keep going to the bottom of South America. 15,000 miles toward land nobody knew was there, and they were not wandering blind. Archaeologists keep pulling black volcanic glass from the ground hundreds of miles from the only mountain that made it. Seashells turn up deep inland, far from any coast. That is the detail I cannot get past. Somebody carried one seashell 400 miles from the sea, not for food, not for a tool, to trade it, to wear it, to hand to someone they walked days to meet. And walking itself is older than almost everything we are, older than our tools, older than fire. In the ash of an old volcano in Tanzania, the anthropologist Mary Leakey once uncovered a line of footprints, 2 of them side by side, the small one almost stepping inside the big one's tracks, 3.6 million years old. And they look almost exactly like the wet prints you leave walking out of a shower. Before language, before stone blades, something stood upright and walked across open ground together. But walking has a hard limit, and the limit is water. You can cross a desert, you can climb a mountain. A wide river stops you dead. For most of our history, deep water was the edge of the world. Then people crossed it anyway. On a small island called Flores, ringed by deep sea, lie stone tools hundreds of thousands of years old. Flores was never joined to the mainland, even at the lowest ice age sea levels. For those tools to be there, somebody crossed open water on purpose. We have no idea what they floated on. Wood rots, reeds rot, but the tools are there. So it happened. That was a few miles of water. What came next belongs in a different category of nerve. Around 65,000 years ago, people crossed from Southeast Asia to Australia, at least 60 miles of open ocean, with no land in sight the whole way. You cannot drift there by luck. You cannot see where you are going. You cannot even know that a there exists. Picture the moment. A group lashes together a raft of bamboo and vine. They load it with children, dried meat, and a bundle of glowing embers. They point it at flat, empty water. They shove off the last solid ground they will ever stand on. Then they paddle toward a horizon that might be nothing but more sea. And they were right. Australia was waiting. For me, that is the bravest thing our species has ever done, and almost nobody knows it happened. And if that raft is the bravest thing, what the Polynesians did later is impossible. Out in the middle of the Pacific sit tiny islands thousands of miles from anything. Hawaii, Easter Island, New Zealand. People reached every single one of them on purpose in wooden canoes. They built double-hulled canoes and loaded them with families, pigs, chickens, and plants to grow on the far side. Then they sailed straight into open ocean, with no map, no compass, and no instrument of any kind. So how did they find a speck of land 2,000 miles away? They read the sky. The exact rising point of certain stars pointed the way like a compass made of light. They read the water, feeling deep ocean swells roll under the hull in the dark. They watched which birds flew out at dawn and back at dusk, because a full bird knows where land is. They read the clouds, since a low, still cloud often parks on top of an island you cannot see yet. No writing. No metal, just a person on a canoe reading the whole planet like a page. Sit with that next time your phone loses signal for 30 seconds. By now, people had beaten distance, weight, and open ocean. The last enemy was speed. And the answer was not something you build. It was something you befriend. First came the dog. The first animal we pulled to our side of the fire. In the frozen north, a team of them dragged a family's whole camp across the ice. But a dog is small to shrink the world. You needed something bigger. Out on the cold grasslands of Central Asia, a people called the Bowtie left 2 clues. Their horses' teeth are worn in the exact spot where a bit sits. That is the hard piece you slip into a mouth to steer. And their old clay pots still hold the chemical ghost of mare's milk. They were not hunting these animals. They were riding them and drinking from them. A walking human moves at 3 miles an hour. On a horse, 30. In a single lifetime, the world shrank by 10. A message that took a season now took a week. Almost every empire you have heard of came galloping in on that animal. So you would assume the wheel came first. The simplest machine there is. A circle that rolls. It came almost dead last. Humans crossed oceans, tamed the horse, and walked to the tip of the Americas before anyone rolled a single thing. The oldest wheels we have found are about 5,000 years old. The crossing to Australia happened 60,000 years before the wheel existed, and the wheel did not even begin as a way to move. The first ones were flat discs spun to shape wet clay into pots. For centuries it sat there flat, spinning, going nowhere. Then somebody tipped one onto its edge and wondered what it might carry. So here is the whole story in one breath. For 300,000 years, we had a body, 2 feet, and whatever we could drag, cradle, float, or tame. That was the entire toolkit. And it filled a world. Now look back at that line of walkers. The one out front, pointing at the horizon, while everyone behind is exhausted, hauling meat, carrying a baby, aching to stop. Nobody ordered him to keep pointing. Nothing out there was promised. The far side might be empty. It usually was, but every human being alive right now is descended from the ones who followed him anyway. The families who stayed where it was safe left no children to remember them. You exist because someone, at dusk, with ruined feet and nothing waiting on the other side, chose to take one more step. And here is the part that should stop you cold. You are the first generation of that entire chain that does not have to move. You sit still right now watching this on a screen, and 300,000 years of restless walking people carried you here on their backs. They walked so that one day you would not have to. The least you can do is remember that they did. Thanks for watching. All the sources and studies used in this video can be found in the description below.